Hey guys, it's Saru. Yes, it's me, guys. It's 2019 and I'm still here. Channel hasn't died just yet, but hello and welcome. Now, it's been a crazy week, and yes, I had planned on releasing this earlier than today because the dungeon did come on Tuesday, and you guys know that I try to release the dungeon guides right when it does come out, but unfortunately, I was so wrapped up on leveling the Valkyrie that, I don't know, I kinda got lost in her gorgeous, thick thing. Yes. So, if you thought that RNG was the only factor in loot boxes and enchanting your gear in TERA Online, let me introduce you to a dungeon where it's literally all about luck, RNG, and the magical powers of coin collecting. Demon's Wheel. So, Demon's Wheel is a pretty short dungeon with lots and lots of rewards, guaranteed death rack designs dropping left and right on both bosses, and a shit ton of craziness. Now, the first boss you'll encounter is a gorgeous fucking man-beast of a caterpillar. Now, some of you may know him from Wonder Home, Dr. Bandersnatch. He's not a doctor, but he can certainly fuck you up like one. That made no sense. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, all of his attacks are blockable and iframeable. All of them. Even his gorgeous booty breath, which is blockable and iframeable, like I said. Now, there is one move that he does that cannot be blocked, but I will say that after this. There is a move that he does called the body slam. When he does that, he'll jump in the air and slap you with his belly. Now, again, you can block it and iframe it. However, if you fail to do so, you'll be stunned. If you are stunned, he'll follow up with this attack, which again cannot be blocked, but can be iframed. It's called the Whip It Real Good move. He basically gets on the ground and slaps anyone around him. Now, he'll usually only do this if you were stunned from the previous attack. Keep that in mind. The body slam. Now, mechanically, there's only two things you need to know, so there are two ways to do the first one. The first one is by counting, and the other way is by looking at the after effects of your AoE circles, and then that's pretty much it. It's only when he says open your eyes and count. Now, to me, it is much more easier to just count, since after 50% you won't even get the color notifications on the ground, and you'll need to count anyways. So basically, you'll get AoEs 3 times, sometimes in a row, sometimes not, unless you're super unlucky, I guess, but just count them. So for example, as you can see, there are 3 circles here, so it will happen every time he says the phrase. So let's say that it's 5, 3, 2. Now, when you add those together, friends, that comes to 10. Now that means it's an even number. That's right, 10 is an even number, friends. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. If your number is even, now 10 again is even. That means you're blue. If you're blue and he glows blue, that means you go in. If you're even, you're blue. If you're odd, you're red. Easy peasy. If he glows blue and you're red, you stay outside. If he glows red and you're red, you go inside. If he glows red and you're blue, you go outside. Basically, it's the same color inside, different colors outside. So same in, different out. Like a bad high school reunion. And that's it. Now for Demoros. Now, he's a little more complicated, so pay attention. When you first start out, he will do his color mechanics similar to the first boss. It's a big old donut, and then he'll do a circle. It's always a donut, then a circle. Now, he will either do red underneath him or blue. You have to look at the color. You need to know this color up until 30% of his HP, which is when he changes his color again. So this is the color you need to keep in your mind. So when he decides to do this mechanic again, if it was blue originally, for example, and he's now doing it red, you want to stay outside, then go inside. If it's blue, you want to go inside, then outside. Again, similar to the first boss, except you're doing an extra step, so you're going in and out or out and in. So same colors are in, then out. Opposite colors are out, then in. Alternatively, if you have a good healer, you can just stay inside the whole time. If you're a priest, just Kaya shield and heal right afterwards and cleanse. Or if you're a mystic, just cleanse them afterwards and heal them. I mean, whatever you want to do. It really just works. What I do is that I just stay there or outside. Now, if you're a ranged class, you can just stay out the whole mechanic anyways. It's about 30 meters, give or take. Just stay away from it. But yes, as a priest, if I'm there, I just stay in the middle the whole time. I cleanse and then healing immersion the group. Easy. Now, all of his normal attacks are blockable except for the laser attack. Now, the laser attack can only be iframed. Now, this laser attack will kill you. So I would suggest that if you have purple aggro ring underneath you, immediately get the fuck out of the way. If you stay in it, you will get hit for 100,000 damage 3 times. You won't survive the second time. It comes together to 300,000. That's math, friends. You know, just so you know, stay away from it. So here's some of the important attacks for Demoros. See, when he goes ahead and does an AoE puddle underneath you, it could be one of 2 things. Now, you can figure out which one they are. One way is by looking the color underneath him. It'll either grow red or blue. Now, if it's blue, it means it's just one AoE bomb. That means once you iframe out of it, it'll just blow up once. sense. If it's red, that means that once you iframe out of it, it'll stay on the ground for a second and then it'll blow up. Now for me, you can also tell by the after effect which it is. It's either going to be blue or red on the ground. Now if it's red, it'll blow up twice. If it's blue, it'll just blow up once basically. So if you iframed out of the circle and it's on the red ground, it'll explode again. I'm just trying to repeat so you guys don't f this up. Now the other special attack he does is when he says come here and pulls players. Now you'll either want to iframe out when he does the chain on you, or once he pulls you, you want to iframe out anyways. One way or another, you want to iframe out. So if you get caught, simply iframe as fast as possible, or get out if you have fiery escape or whatever the case, as he will create an AoE underneath him right afterwards, which will hurt you. Again, you can just iframe the chain or the AoE, or both if you're fancy like that, I guess. Now mechanically, this man is literally RNG's. Now for those of you who don't know this term, RNG, it means random number generator, and that's literally what this dungeon is, because it randomly generates numbers and you may or may not win, and he seems to be the leader of such tactics. Anyways, so around the arena will be one big ass sphere. If it's clockwise, which means if it's going towards the right the whole time, that means when he says this time it's whatever color, let's say white for example, in the next mechanic when he summons 3 dice, you want to destroy everything but the white one. If it's going to the right and he announces a color, you do not do that color. If it's going to the left, it's the opposite basically. You do the color that he does say. Now there are only 3 dice that are going to happen, so just destroy the blue and the red one if it's white for example, or just one of them, whatever. I would suggest doing 2 so you can get more points if you can, if you have the DPS available. Now just as long as it's not the white one. I'm trying to emphasize that. Now if the sphere is counterclockwise, that means that whatever color he names is the one that you want to beat up. Now you'll know you successfully beat up the dice or 2 when basically it says you rolled a, I don't know, 3 or whatever. Usually it'll just shine the color above. That means you know that you hit it up, so you don't have to keep hitting it. Now if you roll higher than he does, it'll say you rolled and it'll say tomorrow's roll. If you rolled higher than he does, that means next time he does a mechanic, you're going to be doing it the clockwise way. Now if you forget, you can just look at the sphere. That means it's going clockwise. That means next time he names a color, you're not going to do that color. If you roll lower than him, it's just whatever color he says. And lastly, if you both roll the same number, it's his win. Now, while hitting these dice, you'll see that the area is getting filled up with a purple beautiful glow. I don't know, it's blue, but it turns purple afterwards. Anyways, once it turns purple, you can just iframe and not get hit. That's basically just one of the mechanics. This is one of the mechanics that are really important, and you can wipe your whole party if you don't do it correct. Now, when he says, you still think you can win? He will basically go to the middle of the arena and summon 4 big dices. Now, right before those big dices touch the ground, you want to iframe so you do not get pushed back. Now, you'll want to hit the number 6. There's always going to be a number 6. So you're going to hit the number 6 and break the hell out of it. And if you have the DPS, separate your group to doing so to hit another one. So when this mechanic is done, he doesn't get more points than you do. He probably will. He's always usually going to have more than you, but still. So for example, if you can hit 6 with 2 people and then another 2 people can hit like number 5 or another 6, if there is another 6, try to hit that as well. You don't want to get him to get a 6. If you're going to ask why, it's because 6 is the highest number and it'll give him more points. As simple as that. Just note that the arena is being filled up, and if you do not break the dice before the arena is filled and you're not in the little safe zone created by destroying the dice, you'll die. No pun intended. So at 30%, he'll go into the other world where players can stand around blue circles and just collect coins. You're basically the Mario of this world. Every coin is 1 point that you get. Now if you get a red coin, you'll lose 70,000 health, but you'll receive 3 points. So the point of this boss is for you to reach 100 points before he does. If he reaches 100, you lose. If he reaches 100 health after this, you lose. I'll explain in a minute. Now he'll come back and he'll say, you're doomed, and he'll do the color mechanic. Now this time will be his brand new color, so remember that one and forget the original one. Now his health will regenerate about 1% every 3 seconds. What you want to do is DPS the living hell out of him to keep him from hitting 100%, and if he's at 100%, your party will wipe. Mind you, I mean technically you'll have about a minute and a half after he gets to 100% to continue, but it's pretty much a wipe, so consider it as such. So while keeping him away from 100% 1000 health, you and your party need to collect red coins falling from the ground. Also, he'll constantly do the 3 dice mechanic, but this time it doesn't matter what color you hit. You can just hit all 3 of them. Technically, you could just have 2 people on the boss or 1 to constantly hit him, and then have the rest of the players go and hit the dice. So again, I suggest hitting all 3 dice to have a bigger advantage, and the point is, again, if you get 100, you win. If he gets 100, you lose. If he gets 100 HP, you lose. So make sure to get 100 on your coins and you'll win. It's just repetition and it's easy, sort of. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for the love and support. It's been crazy to see the amount of love for these guides and the comments I get privately or even in game constantly asking me to do this guide or other ones or just content in general. Much love, truly, 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 truly. Much love. And we'll have a bit more content this month. I'm just setting things up to make sure that it's a steady flow of it. Click that gorgeous thumbs up if you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe and click that adorable fucking bell to know when I upload a brand new video. Much love, and as always, till next time, friends.